There we go. All right, now that's up and rolling. All right. You tell me when you're ready to roll and we ready to go. Then we can count down.
All right. 3, 2, 1, action.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Karceno for life here once again, sitting here with the great Nate the Snake Jones.
What's up? Everybody?
Yiddy!
Yes, sir.
Now, we're sitting here once again because he has a new channel for boxing. You want to check it out. It's called The Nate Jones Story. Go there and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can get all of the stories in boxing, all the stuff that y'all want to hear. All these stories, like, believe me, there are some stories in the gym you have never heard before in life that this man has experienced, and y'all think I know a lot. He was there by me, by my side.
100%.
So it's a lot of stuff that went on around this globe, a lot of stuff we can tell you, a lot of stuff we still can't tell you. But if all you want to know about boxing too, and for all you guys who might be around the world, young, want to know tips and things to help you get better and things that you probably don't know, you could get or obtain, because in this game now, the way the boxing is in 2024, unfortunately, we're losing a lot of the teachers. There's a lot of trainers, there's not a lot of teachers. Not a lot of teachers of the game. So that's why you come to the Nate Jones story, because he's one of the last teachers that we have of the game who can teach you the game. So being one of the greatest trainers in boxing history too, let's put it that way. Now, before we get into this, when you coming up in the boxing, what made you decide, I want to do this for the rest of my life? When did you hit that moment to say, this is my calling?
Well, when I seen that boxing was an African project, I seen what it could take me, and it took me all over the world, it took me to the Olympics, it took me to a high platform I never thought I could be. A kid from the Breeding Green. I just thought I would always be stuck in the project for the rest of my life, but when the opportunity came after becoming somebody great, I didn't want to lose the opportunity to become a great athlete. It meant a lot to me. I just bust my ass. In 1996, I became one of the best boxing in the Olympics that year, won the bronze medal. I was very proud of myself.
Now, after winning that bronze medal, is that when you said, like, I think I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life, or I could be world champion, I can take it to that level. What was the fight that made you, or whoever you got in the ring with, to make you get that confidence to say, I could do this?
Well, my first professional fight, I was down with 9 King. I fought my first professional fight on the Lennox Lewis and Auburn McCall in the club. And that was the night McCall was in the ring crying. That was my pro debut. And I seen how little the gloves was, and I realized that I had to take this stuff serious and bust my butt and work hard in my crowd, because them 10 ounces hurt. And I felt that I knew I had to get serious with the sport and dedicate myself and learn the game. It was very risky, and you get hurt in the sport. And once I seen that, it made me focus. I had to be on top of my game at all times.
Okay, because I remember back when you were training and working out, and before you even went pro, you was amateurs in Milwaukee, I believe 95 actually, in the amateurs, and watching there was a young kid in there who had a lot of mouth. That y'all know him now as Money Mayweather. Right then, he was just a knowing little guy with a lot of confidence,
I met Floyd the day of the National Golden Gloves. So every day I would see this kid bragging on who he was going to beat the next day. So he had to be winning, and that means one he was winning in. So I said, well, this kid got to be winning because he talks smack, he's down there every day winning in, so he must be winning. So by the semifinals came, he was down there again talking smack. So I walked up to the kid and I said, I can't wait to watch you fight. You talk so much smack. And I kind of spooked him and scared him. And I kind of felt better about scaring him because I didn't feel good about scaring someone so much smaller than me. And on that day we was getting ready for the Golden Gloves to happen. It was around 6 o'clock at night, the Golden Gloves was about to start. I think I was one of the latest fights. I was a heavyweight, so I was one of the last fights of the night. So early, the first 2 fights, it was the guy from Michigan, the guy named Floyd Mayweather. So he started walking to the ring. I said, I can't wait to watch him fight. So he walked, he said, come watch me, I'm in ring 1. I'm gonna go over to ring 1 and watch him. And that wasn't the greatest performance I ever seen. The fight lasted 15 seconds. And I bowed to the man who got out the ring. I said, now I see why you talk so much smack. You a bad motherfucker. And that was the day I met Floyd Mayweather. And the next day, he became my best friend. He called me, come to Michigan. A week later, I was in Michigan with him and having the fun of the time of my life. And we had great moments in the 90s, in the 1990s, the early 90s, and a lot of fun, man. And I learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did as an amateur boxer because he was very competitive. Man. I learned a lot from the man. The man he trained hard every day, and it made me train hard every day. He didn't cut no corners. And that's one thing I had to stop doing because I had to be better than him. And he was very competitive. We both were very competitive toward each other, but I didn't keep it going. He kept it going. And he stayed hungry and I didn't. I got the fame and I went the other route. And that's why I messed up at. And Floyd didn't. He stayed hungry. He stayed dominant in the sport. He stayed hungry. And I didn't. I got the fame, got the signing bonus from Dr. King. And it changed me. That's why I fucked up. And that's one thing to this day when I'm back in the sport, giving back because I messed up opportunity being a great fighter. I'm a great trainer. I could have been a great fighter as well, but I didn't have the discipline that Mayweather had, and it cost me. And that's why I'm here now and trying to train these young men, make them disciplined like I should have been.
And see, that's what a lot of people don't really get sometimes, is that you have to humble yourself. You have to come to the realization. Other people, like some people, they blame others. They be like, man, it's your fault. You should have did this for me. You should have did that. I wouldn't have did that if you did this. But to say and to take the onus and say, hey, I made these mistakes. I'm a man, I live by that. And now I'm going to show these other young kids what not to do. Don't go this way, and I'm going to give them the tools to go out and achieve, to be better and great. And that's a whole nother level people, even with the most money in the world, don't even have. But in this game, when you was coming up and you was fighting with Don King, or even when you was probably done fighting, who was the person that gave you the most work or your toughest sparring opponent?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I've been in the ring with a lot of fighters. Like I told you before, James Sonny gave me some new work, and I used to keep Tony butt. I ain't gonna lie. It was good work, but we went at it. But who gave me the most problems? I'm in the ring. James Sonny, Montel Griffin,
Floyd
Mayweather, Donnell Nicholson, Larry Donald, Chris Bird. But the one fighter that gave me the most problems, I would say, is Antonio Magic Man Tarver. Tarver was very difficult. You looked at him, he didn't look as flashy once you was in the ring with him. He was hard to read. Tarver was very good. Deceptive punch power, deceptive hand speed. Tarver was a handful, bro. Jazzy, slick, crafty, and short but sharp. His punch was 6 inches. Tarver was my most difficult boxer I've been in the ring with. I've been in the ring with Tony. I even kicked Tony butt. Tarver gave me the most work ever in my life. I worked with Floyd Mayweather, good work. I learned a lot from Floyd Mayweather. But Tarver was by far the toughest I had to deal with. Montel was crafty. Tarver overall was tough because he could punch.
Man, now this man has been in the ring with Floyd and said Antonio, Chris Bird, some of the best in the world.
Larry Donovan, Doc Nicholson.
Yes.
Von Bean was difficult. He was tough.
Yeah, and Doc, you know, anybody been in the ring with Doc, you know, how you was still standing and been in there with Doc.
Doc was tough.
Doc power level is probably subhuman.
Yeah, Doc could punch. Doc was crafty.
Yeah.
Sharper, what you think?
Yeah.
You couldn't snooze in front of him. Because they'll see you. If you slow down and run into the rhythm, he'll knock you out. Doc was crafty.
Yeah. So when it comes to the training side of boxing, what have you noticed now that you see in today's trainers than the trainers from yesteryear, like the Manuel Stewarts and more the teachers of the game? What do you see now?
The difference is everybody don't take the time out to learn the person in training. What I say to you to make you go ain't gonna be the same when I say to the shrimp girl, because guys are different language. I'm gonna learn you. I might say, no, what the fuck are you doing? You're not doing right. And it might get you to go, but it might not work for Chris.
Right.
I might say the champion and others. You know, look good. Everybody have a different language. Some people you have to spread butter on, then put the song.
Right.
Learn who you're training. Once you take time out to learn that person that you're training, you can deal with them, man. You know how to talk to them, now you get the best out of them. You know what button to push.
Right.
And once you learn a button to push, you can really take it farther and farther. And they believe in you, because they know my story is true. I went to them and I bust my ass. I made something of myself. So that ain't no lie. And once you can show them that and tell them that, it helps them out a lot, man. It makes them believe they can do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's worth hard.
Now, a lot of people know you from working with Floyd, and they didn't even know that you knew anything about training or anything like that, because somebody just thought like, oh, that's just his buddy, and he's just hanging around. But I remember, what was it like when Floyd said, hey, come work with me, and were you already training other fighters before Floyd was called?
I wasn't training no fighters at the time. I had just retired from boxing. I had a neurological situation, and I decided to retire. They told me to take a year off, but I decided I'm done. And there was a big article in the Ringside magazine about me retiring. And Floyd read a Ringside article. He called me one day, and he said, Nate, what happened, bro? I'm like, man, I gotta retire, man. I went to the doctor, they told me that to take a year off, and I decided to retire. If you see something and you're telling me to take a year off, I'm just gonna retire. And I just, I didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. And Floyd said, Nate, why don't you come down here and work with me? You know boxing very well. You're gonna be a great trainer, Nate. You're gonna be a great trainer. And he said that to me. And it clicked in my head. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a great trainer. I was getting very depressed. I didn't know what I was gonna do. He the first person gave me the idea of going to training. And I felt that spirit again. I stayed away from the boxing gym because I was kind of depressed. And I had to always explain myself why I was retiring. And I got tired of everywhere I went. I got to do a lot of explanation. I didn't feel like doing that. So when Floyd said it to me, I took it to heart and I became a great trainer. I came up under him, trained some of his fighters, and I'm learning to be a great trainer. Learn from his uncle, learn from his dad, watch them guys a lot. Remember the things that Buddy McGirt used to mimic to me. Buddy McGirt taught me a lot about the game. Aaron Snowell taught me a lot about the game. I learned from them guys. They're my mentors, my friends to this day. Buddy McGirt, Aaron Snowell, Ron DeWitt, Big Floyd. We don't talk as much. He taught me a lot.
All right. And this is what I love about the game, because those are the teachers of the game. And when you got the teachers of the game that's in there and they're teaching you about all of the things that you should have learned early on in the game, and what I'm seeing in today's trainers is that today's trainers, they don't have a lot of experience in boxing. And it's happening in a lot of sports, the AAU in basketball. These, most people, you just pay your money and you're an AAU basketball coach. You just take a little test and that's it. They don't even consider you. Most of these people don't have a lot of experience with boxing. They just a fandom, and then they become trainers. Like most of the guys, like I'm a retired police officer, and now I'm a boxing trainer, and it's like okay, I love the kids. I put them up. I was in the PALs. I used to take care of them, so their motivation is there, but they really don't know the game. So it's hard for them to. They just like, come on now. You got to train. Floyd used to do this. Then they try to teach him everything Floyd did physically, but there's so many details that you don't know that Floyd knew because he was trained by people that know the game. And there's the small details that you don't know that help you win the fights. And these things that Floyd, knew, things that Nate knew, and some of the things that he helped Floyd with. They was like, how could he help Floyd? He's already great. So how could Nate? I get that question a lot. How could Nate hate Floyd? Help Floyd Mayweather. Well, we're gonna let Nate answer the question now, because y'all asked me that 1,000 times. Now we got Nate here. He can tell you how he can help someone like Floyd Mayweather.
Well, the thing I helped Floyd out with the most was he didn't make a lot of mistakes. There was very few. And when Floyd made this small mistake, I reminded him. Every time he made a small mistake, and I kept him on top of his game with those small mistakes. And that's what kept him sharp and alert all the time. When he made those mistakes, I let him know about it. I touched his shoulder and I whispered in his ear. Floyd wasn't the type of trainer. When you're training Floyd, you couldn't hit it in the swing away. Again, I had to learn Floyd how to talk to him, how to come up to him and whisper in his ear. He don't like being in the front seat. You didn't train him.
Yeah, grandstanding.
I couldn't grandstand for it.
Yeah.
He had to play back. It was his floor. He didn't share his floor a lot. When he let you in, you respect your space. He allowed you to have. Floyd Mayweather was tough to deal with in certain situations, but I understood. And it was his floor, and I respected it. And so I stayed in my lane, and I admired everything. I admired everything he taught me about the game, but Floyd wasn't. He didn't share his space with me.
Now, looking at the game today with all these young fighters and all the fighters that you taught, what would be, you say, as you're training so far, and all the fighters you're training young, what would you say your greatest accomplishment was as a trainer, seeing a fighter develop or get your message?
The one fight we didn't get the true recognition for was Freddy Kquatt. I went over the world with him. I beat him in amateurs. We fought like 4 times, and I won every single time. But Freddy Kquatt was one of the toughest heavyweights out there. I thought he to be anyone but probably in his Lord. He fought one against from David Tszyu. I saw him beat James Saunders. I saw him beat Evander Holyfield. Fred was a problem. But the day that we got robbed for a heavyweight championship in the world over in Russia broke my heart. I couldn't believe that I was a trainer of the heavyweight champion of the world. And it broke my heart when we didn't get the decision. But we later on, years later, got crowned the belt for that years later, but it wasn't the same as it would have been. Me training, being a heavyweight, being a trainer of the heavyweight champion of the world. Freddy Kquatt, but that was my most impressive moment as a trainer. I felt good about that. It was sick from he was robbed that night. But it hurt my heart. But I feel very proud of being a trainer of the heavyweight champion of the world, Freddy Kquatt from Chicago.
Yeah.
My mentor, my emesis. We had wars, but I learned a lot from him. He's my friend to this day.
Yeah, and I remember the guy from England, he was sparring with him, and I can't think of his name. The guy with the braids, the black guy, I think his name is David something.
David Haney.
David Hay, yeah, the Haymaker.
Yeah.
So David Hay Man, Fred gave him so much work and was wearing him out. He said, I'm gonna suggest you should take this fight.
Yeah.
And suggested Fred for the fight. And got him actually into that conversation to fight for that title. So David Haye gives a lot of credit because anybody else could have said, "No, man, I ain't gonna put you in there." But he recognized Fred's talent, and Fred was slick. He had very small movements. He wouldn't take a lot of big movements. It was small. Yeah, very awkward. Kept you reaching. He was not gonna look your best.
He had deceptive reach. His arm was very long. He's like 6'2", but his arm reached like 83. And that's long for someone with a 6'2" frame with 83 inch reach. Fred's winning was difficult. He was awkward. He could punch. And you know, my journey with training at Fred's Quinto, we had three big fights back to back. Shannon Briggs tested positive. We should have been crowned the heavyweight champion of the world that night. They rescheduled us for another fight. The guy from Wales, white guy. He tested positive.
Yeah.
Back to back to back to back. It didn't make no sense why the WBA was doing that to us, but they eventually crowned us years later. But it didn't feel the same as it would have happened in the time that it was supposed to. It would have been right. I'd have been the trainer of heavyweight champion of the world, and it made me feel so accomplished. But at the end of the day, I'm so happy we accomplished some great things. And you know, right now we're doing things together. We're training with the kids. Freshman was one of my best friends, but yeah, I wish we would have got that real heavyweight championship crown. That night we deserved it. It would have felt so much better. Yeah.
Because I remember, not only that, you also worked with Thurman when he was like heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes, sir.
So, and a lot of people didn't know that. And they didn't even know that Nate was there working with Thurman. And there's another fighters, like Adrian Broner, you helped him out in the camp. And he probably wish he could have, you know, like man, if I would have just got with you and got around you more, you know, but there's a lot of fighters you've helped out, man, in the background. They don't really see it. Even fighters that are world champions today that just happen to be in the gym, and he'll just go over and give them some pointers and say, hey, you know, you should do this. Come on, let's get some work done. Because their training might not be there. They might be training on their own. He would just lend an ear and help out.
And I did that recently with Edgar Renteria, that young kid out of New York.
Oh yeah.
Yes. What's his name? What's his name, right?
Edwin Renteria.
Yes. I love that kid so much, and I think I'm gonna be a part of his training camp the next time he's going to the training camp. I think he's trying to fight the man, Canelo Alvarez.
Ooh.
So he called him out. I would love being in that camp with the kid. The kid is, I think he has a great future, and I would love to work with him. We talked already. Hopefully, I'm going to training camp with him. But nothing I really would love to train was Anthony Johnson. Them are the two people on my list, man. I want to train them guys to bring some real boxing teaching to the game. That's what they're missing, and I will make a big difference with both of these guys. And I think in the near future I will get a chance, especially with Edgar Renteria. I think I'm going to be in camp with him.
Because the thing is with Joshua was someone, his thing is confidence.
Yes.
He needs the confidence back. He lost that. He used to have it.
And I didn't see that thing, Josh. I walked up on him and said, man, I want to train you. And this kid looked at me crazy. I wasn't afraid, but I walked up to him and said, man, I want to train you, bro. Give me an opportunity. I'll show you the game, man. I know this game. You're a great fighter. And and the one thing about, I never said this to him in front of his face, I think it would have been rude to say that. He lacked confidence. You see that in him. I will make him believe in himself again. I'll make him fundamentally sound. We're going to start with the feet. I will make him the best heavyweight in the world to this day, right now. Just give an opportunity. Anthony Johnson, look at the Nate Jones story, I promise you. Meet me one day. If you don't make up your mind then I'll go about my way. Trust me. I'll make you the baddest motherfucker in the game.
And I believe it, because he can get me there. And that's why I told you, Gil, if you would have stepped up and took that fight with me, you was gonna lose. 100,000? Shoot.
I would have to train my man.
Yeah, 100,000, I was gonna take that.
We'd have took that one.
We'd have took that one.
Yes, sir.
Easy.
I was waiting for the phone call.
Yep, I feel like it's on.
We already had the boots, everything, ready all done. We was waiting for the go. Once we together, I trained him like he was Mayweather. Trust me.
And I'd have been in the gym like,
He knows me and everything. Everything would have changed.
yeah, see, me and Floyd have a lot of stuff in common. Like, we are no tattoos, no ear piercings, we barely, I barely drink, I don't smoke weed, no drugs, like nothing. Like, we are similar in a lot of ways, me and him. And that's like, me and him, when we meet and we talk, and it's like, it's a similar thing, and we have that common ground. Like, I was like, I was like, that's why I stayed like so, like, everybody like, how you still can do this? And I'm like, well, I never really fell into those vices. Like my buddy's like, man, I wish I never smoked. He's like, I smoked because this chick smoked, and she did. That's the first time I got high blood. He's like, I wish I never did. Boy, that was an expensive habit. He's like, he got me on them squares, everything. So he's like, man, you remember I was bad. I was the fastest dude in the hood. I was like, yeah, you was. He was, but then, you know, he's on cross country track, everything. Yeah, now he can't run to the bathroom. Right, so seeing the game now, like, we got fights coming up with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and you know, all these fights are starting to happen, but I'm thinking the way the game is now, it's like the reason why the disconnect I feel is happening is because I think that we're having this problem with communication with social media. Fighters go out there and promote themselves on social media, and they go out and they put up all these posters, and they thinking the fight is made, and people like, this is gonna be the fight. Then you turn around next week, it's not even going down no more. So he's like, well, what was that all about? They were just keeping yourself up in social media, but now you confuse the casual. The casual was thinking this is a fight coming up, and they don't know it's not happening, they just talking. So they was like, isn't he fighting Canelo? I was like, no. He's fighting this other guy that don't nobody even know. And then that's how you lose the crowd. Mm-hmm. And they do this so much on social media. Terrence Crawford just gave Errol Spence the beat down of all beat downs. And I sat right here in this gym and told y'all that was gonna happen the way it happened and why it was gonna happen that way. Yep, and I was never more true to the sense. They can fight 100 times, it's not gonna make a difference. He can't beat Terrence Crawford, and Errol knows it. And I could tell, I looked at Errol and I know he knows it. This was about the money for him. He wanted to get that bag. So he just didn't want to look that bad. He didn't know he was gonna look that bad, but he knew, yeah, I might lose this. Because he had that doubt in him. Once you got that doubt in you, it's hard to get it out. Because he felt like, I don't know if I can get him, but I'm gonna see, I'm gonna apply my will. But after the fact, after he won, he should have been championed. He should have been commended. And what did they do with social media? They try to find every excuse to tear him down. Then they want to strip him of his belt. The IBF immediately stripped him of the IBF title because he didn't go fight somebody else. There's so much politics in the game, and this is why the belt game is so crazy. Because this man he unified 2 divisions already, and now he was going to unify another one. This would have been good for the fight game. Now here it is, almost another year, and he ain't been back in the ring. He's supposed to have been fighting Errol in the rematch, but now that's pretty much up in the smoke because they don't have Showtime no more. Now Showtime boxing is gone. Showtime is out of the boxing business. They said, why am I gonna pay $150 million? And when you pay $150 million to a organization that you feel ain't bringing in no revenue to, because they were taking losses. They were just throwing everything at the wall, hoping it stick. So looking at this game now, what's your thoughts on it? Looking at what we just talked about.
Well, I think now, I forgot to mention, 2 of my other fighters, Chris Pearson and Dylan Price, young man out of Philadelphia. We'll be in training camp soon. has a big fight coming up, and then a world title shot. So Dylan Price can do anything, Chris Pierce can do anything, we still in champ. Now back to what you were saying about the boxing atmosphere right now. Boxing is kind of dying out because, like you said, they let people, they let social media take over boxing now. And I just don't think that they're not getting the hard, tough fight that the people want to see. We're not doing that. Like, who is Devin going to fight? Who is Tank going to fight? They're not even talking about fighting each other. They just acting like girls. They're not fighting, man. They need to fight Devin, Secure, and Tank Davis. They need to fight, come together and make these big fights. The world want to see you guys can make a lot of money. And we'll have a lot of fun and a lot of parties and entertainment to watch these big fights. That's what we want. We want the big, real fight, not the bullshit.
Right, like Ryan Garcia seems to be taking the Jake Paul route. And he's going around, he's trying to say, I'm a real fighter, I'm a real fighter. He got in there with Tank for the money. And now he's going at Devin, and it's for the money. And, you know, Anthony Joshua, he's fighting the MMA guy, the Gandu, for the money.
That's a dangerous fight, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous fight.
That guy can crack.
He can punch. But, I mean, I don't, if Anthony Johnson don't, you shouldn't lose him.
Right.
You should beat him. If you don't beat him, man, that's going to hurt him a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely hurt him. If
You should knock him out.
Because Tyson Fury lost. Like, Tyson Fury messed around and took that too lightly and lost. That boy put him down. Whoop, whoop. I was like, that's that Nigerian dynamite.
Yeah.
That boy has it. That was no joke.
And that says a lot about him. Watching that let me know that it's powerful. He can give Joshua problems.
Yeah, Joshua, you know, because, you know, the thing about Ngannou, he ain't got no footwork really, and, you know, he's just got a lot of power. He's a puncher, you know, so he just knows how to punch, but he don't really know how to box. Tyson was trying to teach him some techniques that could help him out a little bit, but he's too tall to do this stuff like that.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike.
He's 6'5", 6'4".
Yeah,
Mike Tyson.
He can't get that low. Like Mike is like, get that low and turn. And I like Mike. That he ain't 5'6". Like if he 5'6", 5'7", that would work perfect for him. But he like
he needs a Lennox Lewis, someone like Lennox that can help him out.
Right, he needs to fight big.
Yeah, he fight big like Lennox, and that's what he needs. But I wish Lennox and Anthony Joshua can have created a good friendship, but they clash at each other too much. I think that Lennox can help him too. I think Lennox's experience in the game can help Anthony Joshua a lot, but I wouldn't take on the job. I know I can do it. Trust me. I know I will make him the best fighter in the world. Trust me. And if I don't, then fire me. I will make it happen. I'll make Anthony Joshua the best fighter in the world. I like him a lot.
Yep. Now, the way I see it, Wilder and Joshua should have fought a long time ago. And when I start looking at all the future fights that they got coming up right now, they have Romero again, and they gave him a belt. See, now this is the problem that we have with boxing right now. He fought a 40-year-old man that they put in there to try to be a tune-up after he lost the tank.
He got tuned up.
And he got tuned up again by this guy. Now they're putting him in there with the Pitbull, the guy they really want to promote. And they gave Rolly a belt. I'm like, how does he have a belt? And now this guy going up to 140 to fight Rolly, because Rolly finna get worked out again, because he can't fight backing up, and this guy gonna make you have to fight him backing up. Rolly is strong, but he's only good going forward. This guy loves to go forward.
All day long.
He don't even jab. The Pitbull, that's his problem. He don't jab. But he is very good at knowing how, because he's short and he got short arms. He's very good at setting traps to get you to fall in. And he can throw his power punches. He's really good at that. So he's good at setting those type of traps. But Rolly is strong, and we're gonna see what happens at that. I think the will of the Pitbull gonna break him down. It's the confidence level. the seriousness of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy's a fighter. He's a real fighter. He dedicated to it. And, you know, Rolly just playing with it.
Rolly's the entertainer.
Right.
You know, slash fighter. But Pitbull is a fighter first.
Yeah.
The dude I think he's more of an entertainer. I don't see him beating him. His ruggedness and his toughness is going to play a big role. Because I think condition plays a major part in big fights like this. And one thing for sure, Pitbull is going to be in shape. And Rolly may not be in the best shape he needs to be. So, that means they can play a major part. And I think for Pitbull and will, because he's going to be in shape.
Yeah.
You guarantee that. He will be in shape.
Now, you have Keith Thurman versus Tszyu for the title. Keith Thurman has been inactive. He's coming back, making his run. He's an 8-1 underdog in this fight. And being an 8-1, that shocked everybody to see the opening so large for Tszyu, who's got a lot of publicity. And Charlo ran from him, didn't think it was worth it to fight him. And a lot of people are saying this is going to be the new guy of the division, but everybody who's the champions didn't want to come take the fight. And now here's Keith Thurman saying this is his comeback fight, this is what he needs to get the belt. Do you think Keith Thurman can come back and turn it around into being an 8-1 underdog?
Well, I don't think Keith Thurman, I don't think his mind, I don't think he's focused like he should be, getting too big. You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna, your window is only open for a certain amount of time. And I think that if you don't take advantage of the opportunity, you letting time slip away about getting too heavy, and getting out of shape and in shape and out of shape and in shape, his body gonna catch up with him. And I think that's gonna be a major part in this fight. I think Tszyu is hungry, young, dedicated, got his eyes on the wheel, his eyes and his will on winning and dominating this fight. And I think he will beat him. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think you may have a greater chance of catching when the Chris clean punch and knocking him out, but I don't see him beating Tszyu. I think Tszyu wins a close fight with a clear decision.
Okay. I think
What you think?
I think in this fight, Keith gonna early on, Keith gonna have some success. I think he's gonna get caught. I think the body shot is gonna surprise him. Keith Thurman is somebody that don't take it to the body too well, and when you don't, you know, you're known for not being able to take body shots. Even though Keith Thurman has power, he doesn't. He does a lot of mistakes. A lot of these young fighters make. And I've seen it a lot more. They don't tuck their chin down.
Yeah.
Their chin is all in the air. That's how you got clipped by Pacquiao, went down. You know, you gotta protect your chin. That's a step in the game.
When you punch your chin, you touch me.
Right. If you button the chin down.
Chin stays to your neck when you punch. Especially when you're sitting down training or something. You can't train with your chin there.
Yeah.
A lot of kids do that. And they don't understand the game, you know what I'm saying? They're not being taught by teachers.
Yep.
Show them, man, your chin, you gotta have that chin to your neck. If it ain't to your neck, then you take a chance on getting with a crisp, clean shot, and it can really hurt you.
Right. See, Keith Thurman would have been exposed a long time ago. Keith won fight Thurman. The only reason why he didn't get exposed, that's why PBC did what they do. And that's why we call them the pacified baby champions. That's what the PBC was for, because most of these people was being fed, you know, baby food. They put them in there with these small guys, and they 10 times their size. Keith Thurman was bigger than all the people he was fighting. They were ballooning up in weight to fight him. And the Riverside Rocky almost beat him. And I was like, and this is the tune-up, and he was getting tuned up in there because they were fooling you. They did the same thing with Errol Spence. I was like, they built him up on a diet of fighting 130, 135 guys. I'm like, Mikey Garcia, he couldn't even stop Mikey Garcia. That's what told me everything I need to know about Errol. Right then and there, that was the fight. And then they was like, he dominated. I was like, y'all didn't see what I saw. I said, this is the fight. He was supposed to stop that guy. And I was like, he didn't know how. And I say, that's when it told me right then and there, he didn't know how or what to do. Then they put him in there with an injured Chris Algieri. I was like, the reason I know, because Chris Algieri is a nutritionist. He's a fitness guy, and he was here, and he got a knockout on the Chris Algieri. Everybody was going big on him. Algieri was at the fitness Chicago Fit Expo that we have here. So I saw him up there. I said, "Hey, Chris," we talked, and he was like, "Man," and he did an interview. He told me, he's like, "Man, sometimes we got to do things, man. That money was too big to turn down." And he's like, "I was injured," and he's like, "I already had a knee injury going into this thing." So he's like, "Something for your career you just shouldn't do for the money, and just take it." But he's like, "The money was too great." I just said, why not take that money? Instead of me just sitting up rehab, I could do that fight and then go back and rehab. But he said, now it hurts me because now everybody think, oh man, he's trash now because he just got knocked out. He's like, man, I couldn't move. And he's like, they knew that at PBC because they was like, oh, go ahead. He's like, man, but if you could take this fight though with Errol Spence, that would be great for us because they just wanted to have that knockout and stuff on that record to make it look good, and it worked. It fooled a lot of people, but it didn't fool me. Then I was like, I've interviewed him, and I put it up there so people can see it. So I was like, when you interview and you find out that people go into fights with injuries, and it's like, look, man, I need that bag. That money gonna come in real handy. And that's some high six figures. So he's like, why am I gonna turn that down just to be sitting on the couch? I can go in the ring, throw my punches, whatever happens, happens. Now,
but I'm gonna say this much.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised that Thurman, he crafted and slick now. Thurman is a cut from old school. Thurman can turn some over, man, and run him into a shot. Thurman can probably can catch him and hurt him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't up in here by nobody like Thurman. I don't think.
Right.
So Thurman is crafty. Thurman has a puncher's chance. You must give him that.
I'll give him a puncher's chance because Keith is heavy-handed. He's big, he's heavy-handed. But the thing is he goes and he could. Depends on what kind of shape he's in.
Right.
He could actually fight on the bike. He can get on the bike and move around and kind of fight going back and set little traps. He can set little traps because this is what Dan Birmingham teaches. Dan Birmingham teaches that style.
He tricky.
Yeah. Dan Birmingham teaches that, like, change the angles, take slight steps back, stick, and then change the angle and move. And when Keith get hurt, he resorts back to his basic foundation of doing that, or just trying to touch you with something. And he can throw stuff off speed, then put something heavy on it. And you'll get used to something light and get hit with something heavy. And see, that's what Dan was teaching them, how to disguise your power. And
I'm gonna jump in on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to teach punching. You can't punch. You can't throw everything big. You can't throw everything light. You can't throw everything fast. Everything you have to have a rhythm with the punches. It's light, power, and natural. You gotta teach a fighter that. You gotta walk him into knocking him out. If I hit his back, light, boom! The left hook gonna have some dangerous power on. I'm gonna swing the left hook and try to land it while I hit you clean. I call that a brick. I learn how to knock someone out. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta learn how to punch. Our people hit hard. They don't know how to punch. You gotta teach people their rhythm. Tap, tap, bum, 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 boom. Tap, 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 bang. Find the rhythm. Throw it in different increments, speed, power, and natural. Then you gotta change the rhythm with the punch power. Ready to knock somebody out. You gotta trick them. And because it starts from here. Learning the game. Once you learn the game, you do more with the power. By setting it up and setting them the correct way and setting them in front of you. I remember the first time I fought Lamar Bruce in Hamilton. The first person ever put me on the canvas. He stopped me. The first round we fought, he didn't throw nothing hard. Everybody would say, man, how hard this guy hit. I'm like, man, this kid don't hit hard. I'm gonna kill this dude. I walked up the second round, went right at him. The first punch he hit me with knocked me out. And then I never did first. I never been stopped in amateurs. And it broke my heart, but for one round, that man threw nothing hard because he couldn't hit me. The next round, I came at him. And the first punch he threw felt like a SUV Escalade. And he stopped me that night. But me and Bruce had a lot of wars coming up. Tough fighter, a very good competitor when we fought amateurs. I beat him to make the limit team, but he got me back. After beating me, he knocked out Klitschko. If I wouldn't have beaten him, I would have fought Klitschko for the WBO belt. But he became world champion that night. I'm very proud of him to say that he was my friend to this day. We had a lot of wars, and my Brewster, man, I appreciate fighting you. I appreciate us staying friends for over 20 years, man. Keep doing your thing, and God bless you, man, brother. Keep doing your thing, champ.
Yeah, and definitely been a great friend to all of us.
Yes.
And we'll do the last one with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney.
Yes.
Looking at this, and now that this fight is coming up at the end of, I believe, April, they got the date set. What do you think about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney? How do you break it down?
You know, I'm gonna say this one. Ryan ain't in the right atmosphere. I heard he was at the weigh-in and he was tipsy and drunk that night.
Right.
If that's the case, man, you don't want to win. You don't want to be great. You don't want to go in history as being a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me lose a lot of respect for him. I mean, if you're gonna dedicate yourself to this game, don't be in the press conference drunk. And I heard that. I hope it's not true.
Right.
I hope that Devin learning what he needs to learn. I mean, not Devin. Ryan learning what he needs to learn from Floyd Mayweather. Hopefully it helps him out. Hopefully he wins. I don't see him beating Devin. I think Devin got too much sauce, too much shit. You know what I'm saying? Devin in the cuff from old school. He's not gonna beat Devin. He does have a punch chance, but how do he land it? He ain't gonna be able to put Devin in those situations to trick him to knock him out. And but if he lands a clean shot, he has a good chance of beating him and knocking him out has a knockout chance, a punch chance of winning, but beating Devin, I don't see that.
Right. Looking at this, I saw Ryan it's the biggest I've probably ever seen him when he was going around promoting the fight. He looked really big. So I'm thinking he's got problems. He's gonna, cutting all his weight off. And when he starts training, because he's young, he's just like, I'm gonna train, the weight gonna fall off. And you end up having a weight loss camp instead of a training camp. Mm-hmm. And when you start doing that, and let's go over the limitations, period. And you look at his limitations and what he's been able to do and what he can't do. Ryan Garcia is fast, but he has bad footwork for a fighter. Any other boxer can see that's got any skill and take advantage of it. As you saw, Tank led him right into the shot. Mm-hmm. I was saying it was coming. I was where I'm at. I'm like, oh, he's thinking. He's like, oh, he must have put Tank. Tank's backing up. He's hurt. I was like, no, I don't think Tank is hurt. I think Tank is luring him into a trap. And sure enough, boom, he blown him right into the shot because he's got poor footwork and he went down basically off balance too. He got hit and his feet are square because he doesn't know how to move in a boxing ring. He's what they call a YouTube fighter. He's hitting the pads real. He's not moving his head. He's just hitting the little bag and comes back to his fist. I'm like, yeah, that bag will keep coming back to your fist. You can keep doing that all you want, throwing your little hooks and jab, but it's like you're not moving your head. You just
learning.
Right. Your chin is still up in the air. And you fighting like this. That's gonna get you knocked out by somebody who really shouldn't be even clipping you and touching you in the first place. So they can put you in a 24 by 24 ring to try to protect you as long as you can. Devin can outbox you. And that's the problem, is that Devin knows I can stay in my box right here. You can bounce around the ring all you want, you gotta come in here. Mm-hmm. And this jab gonna control you. You ain't gonna have nothing to hit. I'm gonna take away your target, I'm gonna take away your viewing point position. So now you stuck. Now the only thing you're gonna have to do is open up. You're gonna have to commit. You're gonna make mistakes. And Devin's gonna capitalize on it. And he might hurt. Once he hurt Ryan, that's when the fight really gonna change. Mm-hmm. And then when Ryan tried to go into a shoulder roll position, I mean, they already know what to do with that. That's the one thing too. If you have to be adapted to do that. You have to be trained from a youngster to know how to do that. It's not just the shoulder. There's so many things that, right, everybody want to do with Floyd. There's so many things Floyd do in that you don't even see.
Added to that, before and then after.
Yes.
Like, it's so much to it, man. People don't understand. So much in the shoulder rope.
Right.
And having the right confidence. You can't be a scary dude trying to do that.
Right.
Because you don't have enough, you're not comfortable enough. If you're scared, you're not comfortable. You have to be very comfortable to do that. And know what you're doing. You have to be talking about someone that teaches that.
Right.
You know?
And your body has to be developed for it.
Yeah.
Like Floyd has bowling ball shoulders
Yeah.
for a reason. Those shots bounce off. Your chin has to be tucked under it.
And then you go up under.
Right, you
I
go
mean,
up under. It's
that
different
goes down.
variations.
Yeah.
You have to have your good core because you got to be able to lean, turn. It's different angles. You turn on a certain shots while the shots are coming in. There's so many different positions
Yes.
and angles to work from the shoulder roll. That's why
And some
when other
kids be
people
doing
use
it.
it, yeah, they don't. Right,
No.
It's
you
like-
gotta tuck them under, you gotta tuck them under the shoulder.
right. Sometimes you gotta lean up.
Yeah.
You gotta dig down. You gotta
Yeah.
dip low with
Yeah.
it and dip out of the way. You gotta change the angle sometimes. Then if they try to reach, you could just, you don't even have to throw nothing hard. You just keep a short stick just to keep your distance. Pop, just to keep the range. To know where they at.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't even know it because Floyd does it, but he throws a lot of rangefinders, and they's like, I didn't even know he did that. I was like, hey, he always measured through a rangefinder. You got to do that pop. You don't just punch. Yeah. I like sometimes it's feints, little things y'all don't see. When he twists the glove like that, just to try to hold you in place, he'll flick it up. You know, like it's so many small details that happen within a fight you do not see.
You don't see.
But I'm like, I see it all. I pay attention to all of it. This is how I knew Fury was going to beat Wilder. Now, I remember we was at that place. We had that meeting at that nightclub. It was like in the daytime. And all of us were there, the fighters were there. And we were talking about doing something. And this was like at 100 something. We was over there when we had that big meeting there, the food and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were there. The Tyson Fury and Wilder fight was coming up. So we started talking. And I said, the only reason I think this fight would be close is because I don't know what kind of condition Fury's going to be in after coming out of rehab and everything else. That's the only thing. Because I was like, Wilder has never seen anything like this man. This man at that size, with that type of jab, he can control the entire fight just with that jab. And Wilder has never been in the ring with nobody who can do that. And this dude can fight you from either hand. He can go southpaw. He's slick like that.
And he crafty
Yeah.
big guy, 6'9",
Yep.
very crafty. Wilder, when is gonna close on him? You know, I think he need to get a better trainer. I don't think what Malik is doing is working. I don't see it. I thought it was gonna work, but it's not working. I don't know what it is, but somebody needs to get up under Wilder and before he loses opportunity to be a great champion because something got to change, bro.
Yeah, I think that the window is closed for him. I think
It's closed up.
yeah, I think it's closed for
He
him.
said closed up.
Closed. Like he still got that one hitter quitter, but
Yes.
now his confidence ain't there. Is totally not. He's okay with just like I'm just happy I survived. My kids would say, you know, his whole mind state is not into winning a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's there to survive the
He
fight.
made that money.
Right. Now he's just like, I'm just here to survive. I'm glad we both okay. And he was okay with losing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
That's not in mind. I didn't
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And that tells me where the fighter's mental state is. You know, and it's like, he's just trying to get by now, you know, so that's where it's at now. So I want to thank you, man, for
Thank you, my brother.
doing this
Appreciate
again
you.
and coming by. And don't forget, everybody who got here, check him out on the Nate Jones Story. That's his YouTube channel, and he's got his Instagram set up, and they rolling, man. So,
96 Nate Jones on my Instagram. Please follow us. Check us out. This brother doing
Yeah.
good things. He's one of my best friends, man.
Yep.
In the whole city. My man.
Yep.
So we here, man. We doing it. He helping me on things coming out, Cal. Been a part of this, brother. And we'll do it again. And how about you guys just boxing, man? Any way we can. Thank you.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if I got my, if we still live or not. Yeah, we still live. Okay. All right. Look, we gonna have some Patreon stuff for y'all a little later. Now, I want to say something now. Now, they thought our bike was lying about this, but this is an incident that happened back in like 2011. Derrick Rose from the Chicago Bulls was the biggest star in this city in 2011. And he had a birthday party coming up.
Yes, I remember.
Now, I know you remember where this is going.
I remember. Yo.
Derrick Rose, they had the flyer put out that all the people that was coming, and they had Floyd Mayweather was coming to the party. And I said, Floyd Mayweather's coming to the party. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, Floyd finna come here to D-Rose party. That's what it is. I was, matter of fact, I was near the crib.
Mhm.
I get hit up by this man right here. He said, do you know who Reggie Rose is? I was like, yeah, I know Reggie Rose. I know of him. He's like, cuz, man, him and Floyd got into it. And then what happened is, Reggie, you know, Floyd saw that he was supposed to be there. Nobody had contacted Floyd. So he wanted to see if this was real. So when he reached out to Derrick, because in Floyd mind, he was like, it's cool. Like, I'll come there for free.
Derrick Rose was his best MMA player. He loved the Derrick Rose.
Oh, yeah, loved
his favorite.
Right, so he was like, look, I'll do something for Derrick. Derrick could come do something for me. And, you know, that's how we do it as brothers. We don't charge each other.
Right,
you know,
you don't charge nothing.
Right, you don't charge him nothing. I'll come do something for you. You come do it for me, and, you know, we all good. So
It's
ain't no
home.
problem. He just wanted to talk to Derrick to make sure it's real.
It's real.
So Reggie Rose calls him. Now, Reggie he does everything from Derrick. So everything was good except for Floyd said, I want to talk to Derrick. I want to hear from Derrick.
I
Reggie
wanna talk
said,
to Rick.
yeah, Reggie like, you talking to me, you talking to Derrick. And it's just the way he talked with Floyd. Yeah, that was not going to be a good.
It was not.
Yeah, that was.
And it didn't end up being good. Floyd didn't come.
Yeah, Floyd didn't come to that. And, but,
If Derrick would have called Floyd, and Floyd would have been there. Derrick Rose was Floyd's best player in the NBA. He thought he was better than Kobe. He loved Derrick. When Derrick won NBA, when he won a
Rookie
MVP,
of the year, MVP,
Rookie of the year, he loved the man. And from that point on, he was his favorite player.
yeah.
But when that happened, when he didn't call him back, Floyd never came.
Oh no, yeah. He was a little at the point where Floyd was like, because I remember I talked to him and I was like, bring it down, because he was hyped. I was like, yeah, he was upset about Reggie Rose got him, you know, highly upset. So
he was looking forward to coming. He wanted to be there to support Derrick Rose, not Reggie Rose.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and he was like, did they say my name on the radio? He was like, man.
He got me.
Yeah, if they said my name on the radio, I'm suing. I was like, man, no. Like, I'm like, dude, Derrick Rose is the biggest thing in the world, man. If you sue him, like, don't do that. Don't do it.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Back in the days, man. That was
back in the
beautiful,
days,
man.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate everything.
Yep.
God bless you. See you next time.
Boom.
Bye.
All right.
Appreciate you, my nigga.
Yes, sir. Hold on, let me see if I can get this thing shut down.